How can we make the world better? By making ourselves better. The Dr. Joe Show explores how you can make positive personal change by using his groundbreaking and highly effective I Am approach to understand who we are and why we do what we do. Your small changes can have big effects.
Join us now for the Dr. Joe Show with Mark Stiles of Stiles Law, Thomas McCoy, and your host, Dr. Joe Schrand.
Oh, welcome to the Dr. Joe Show. And that is for everyone. For everyone. Everyone is welcome.
You noticed that?
I did notice that, Mark.
I've modified the intro. You've noticed that?
I did, and I think it's remarkably inclusive, which is great. That's what we are. It's a very inclusive show.
That's right.
That's what we do. So how have you been?
I've been well. How have you been? Your book is doing ridiculously well right now. It's making its way up the charts.
It really is. I'm so happy. And I thank everybody out there who is promoting it, Unleashing the Power of Respect, the I Am approach. It's really starting to take off. But you can still get your copies on Amazon because Amazon will just print up a new copy, which is great. It'll have all the same words, which is good, but it'll be a new copy. So you can just get it.
It's an absolute must read. For anyone who walks this planet Earth, it is a must read to understand the I Am and the approach and why we do what we do, Dr. Joe.
Thank you, Mark. And it is, I appreciate that a lot because I really do think it's so timely. We have so much going on in our world right now. We need something like the I Am. We need to remind each other of our value instead of continuing to decrease each other's value and then astonished at what happens, which really, gets us right into it. Tom, how are you doing? And then please do the introductions.
Well, I won't waste your time, Dr. Joe. I'm doing relatively fine, and I will introduce our guests. Dr. Joe, your son Jason met our guests previously in their home country. Tonight we have Sergii Pogoretskyi, a software engineer, and Mariia Pohoretska, a journalist, both from Ukraine.
Yes. Thank you so much for being here tonight. Given everything that's happening in the world, this is very, very powerful, and I'm so appreciative of this. I wonder whether we could just back up a little bit. Back a few years ago, Jason, my son, was working at Medtronic, and he had come to Ukraine, I think, to do some training. How did you guys meet Jason? Had you met him before here in the States?
Hi, everyone. Sergii speaking. So, first I met Jason in office of my company. So he visited to transfer knowledge. And I meet him there. So previously I had a conversation, but only online. But in Ukraine, I first meet him. Yeah, and after that, in the evening, we go for a dinner, and my wife Mariia joined us.
Yeah, that was hi everyone. There was a Ukrainian some kind of restaurant in the downtown, and he was so amused with all the food because it was traditional one, and he pretty liked that. I wasn't expecting that likeness for the Ukrainian food. And there was a bar. Obviously you cannot finish the meeting without a glass of something. And that bar was really famous. It was huge. This is the best bar in Ukraine. It has its awards. And yeah, Jason was pretty shocked with it's great to have this initial and honest emotions from a person who came to see Ukraine for the first time and was shocked with this welcomeness, because Ukraine is known for being welcome, welcomeness to people.
Yeah. And as a result, he introduced me to both of you when he was back here, because he's now left that particular company and he's out at Vanderbilt in Nashville. But when he came back to our town, he said, I want to really bring my friends down, and that's how we met. How did you wind up coming to the States? Because you'd been obviously in Ukraine for how long? Were you born there, or it's home?
Yeah, so I'm 33, and like for almost 32 years, I lived in Ukraine. And how we end up here, like,
before we get to that one, why don't you just tell us about Ukraine? Tell us about your country. How do you talk about your country?
It's beautiful. I also was born in Kiev. My dad, his mother was born there also. I graduated from university. I finished my school, university. All my teen youth was there. It's a warm country, as if you can, but I was living in the capital, in the city. So I only can speak from my perspective, from my experience. I wasn't born in a rich and wealthy family, even not in the middle class. My mom was married with my dad after 2 or 3 months of knowing each other. And they bought some kind of land and started building a house. And they've been doing it for 7 years. Money comes, money goes. So it was something like ups and downs. So yeah, then we became a middle class, and I they gave me all they could within the possibilities. That is why I think I became that down-to-earth person. I'm not expecting much, but all I can expect, what I give usually, just not appreciation, but just one word, thank you, is enough for me. This is how usually in Ukraine, people are really welcoming. They are good hosts. They consider to be a hardworking people. They sometimes overdo what they promise you. And for me, Ukraine is a free spirit, people with free spirit, with the I'm only speaking from my experience, whom I met. I'm not having a lot of friends 40 plus something, but mostly they are my age, a little younger. And what I've seen is a free spirit, challenging, not afraid to risk sometimes, and helpful, eager to help. This is my point of view. Ukraine also is a beautiful country. I was speaking about people, but due to the country itself, it's a green dynamic in the development. It's a vibrant city. It has its dynamic, and you see the changes really, it doesn't still stand. It's not always stable, but usually it grows.
So I would add that last couple of years, Kyiv and Ukraine developed a lot, outside and inside. I mean, people and infrastructure, culture, all perspectives. Economics starting grows, and it's helped to people travel inside the country. We have mountains on the west, we have sea on the south. It's touristic places to have a great location. Kyiv is also attracts a big city in Ukraine, and it's relatively maybe cheap for foreigners, and it's also attracts and it has a good value for foreigners.
For money.
It's a beautiful city. We have pretty old culture and with like good architecture, like beautiful architecture. So like big cities like Kharkiv in east, the Lviv on the west, the Kyiv center and Odessa. It's like big major cities, which is attracts a lot of tourists and actually a lot of business. So this has helped to develop our country. Yeah, I like lived in Kyiv 15 years. Before that, I lived in small town. Like I grew there with my family, with my older brother, and yeah, it was like maybe simple life, but I like go to university, graduated, and yeah, stay in Kyiv.
Sounds like an incredible country where you know, for so many, it sounds like not only the people are wonderful, but you really have enormous value. And off air, we were talking about not only how beautiful the country is, but what it must be like now to wonder about it. You're here in the States. Mary, you were talking off air. Can you just tell our listeners what you were just chatting about here?
Yeah, as we came here in August last year, 21st, we've heard about the war when we were almost on a plane. We were going to Colorado on a snow vacation trip. And this is like you holding the phone and you are freaking out what is happening because your mother is sleeping, your father is still sleeping, and your friends is writing about explosions. And I think I lost my mind until my mom like responded in 4 or 5 hours because she was sleeping. Like, okay, she was probably lucky not to feel all that nerves. But I was telling in the break that I want, and I have this neediness to come back to see my country. That was a plan. I told Sergei, my husband, that we need to stay here a year to adjust to everything. It will be our testing period for the USA to understand. If we come earlier, we might feel the need to stay, but we are here. We need to accept everything is given by the universe. And I feel that I need to go back in summer to see my parents as like, I must. And Sergei also feeling the same, he supports, but I'm so afraid to see the suburbs and the city and the results of invasion. It's like, well, I'm afraid of it.
Yeah,
I'm smiling, but inside I'm just scared.
Yeah. Sergei?
First of all, want to see parents, my brother and family. Like we relocated here, and it's pretty long time. Like for me, it's first time when I like didn't see my family for maybe 8 months or so, and realizing that Ukraine is different right now. It's some kind of like hard, and I won't come back when it would be safe. And yeah, I want to see everything and help to restore that.
As Sergei was telling, we saw the country was developing and being beautiful every day, more beautiful. Our President Zelensky was like, he was making good stuff. He was restoring the bridges, the roads, building the schools and the kindergartens. And when you see the progress and then you are faced with the decrease, it's something needs to be like, I don't know how to prepare myself, and maybe Sergii also don't know the answer. We will know, maybe we will see it.
Are you talking with people on a daily basis that are home?
Yeah. I constantly talk with my brother. Currently, he in Poland with family. I talk with my parents, with my mother and father. They stay at home. They don't want to leave anywhere. So they located 200 kilometers towards west from Kyiv. They in pretty safe area right now, but you never know. A lot of friends, we have apartment in Kyiv, and we rent out to the people who stay in actually our dentist. So we constantly keep in touch with people in Ukraine. Every single day, I asking everyone from my contact list. Not all of them, I mean, every day, but someone writing me or I write them. Yeah.
What are they doing?
Oh, they a lot of friends actually in the forces right now. Our photographer go to the forces and he in the military. So also my colleague, I work in a global logic company which is international. They have office in Ukraine. So and we have this big project. So one of member of my team also in the military. Rest of all try to first of all help militaries. It's maybe the top of the list what you can do inside Ukraine. So you help military. How you can do volunteering? You can do supplying. You can do in a how to say it, not in the backyard, but on a background. You can help to do some nets, which is masking military stuff, and a lot of people doing that. So we constantly contributing to people whom we know, sending money to help them buy supplies to do their job, which is eventually comes to the military. And a lot of people also trying to get back to routine, to normal life, to start economy working, because if no one buying a coffee, people who selling a coffee wouldn't get money.
Go bankrupt.
Wouldn't take money to even live and exist. So this is what I see and trending inside Ukraine. People have to get back to routine as fast as they can, especially thinking about safety, because still air raid sirens still going almost every day. And I work from my team, only I work team from 6 people. I work from here, and rest of all over the Ukraine. And during regular meeting, someone can say, okay, we have sirens, I need to go to shelter. So this is how it's going right now.
And in what I saw, as I was a part of a running club in Ukraine. We had about 120 people we have this messenger, and there is a chat. and our coach. She's the second person from Ukraine, and it is 7 in overall who run 6 majors about marathons. So she's like a huge, huge name in running in Ukraine. And she organized this volunteer team of 15 cars. All of them like include our running team, and also of course the website for donations. And they are buying drugs, medicine. I mean, they are buying the not guns, but defense or ammunition. They are buying groceries. They are helping even the dogs or old people. They are being delivery guide. They are being rescue team. A lot of duties. And when I read that chat and seen like 1,000 messages in a night, first your heart bumps like something happened. But then there is like communication between them, trying to find help, organizing, managing questions. They became like we were a family, but they became now a huge united forces of Kiev. Like people, there are some posts of forces. They call it territory defense. And they stop you to check your passports and everything. Now they are not even checking them because they know them, because they usually come up with the food for them and any kind of treats to help. So the most thing that the time difference is with you. This is the thing when you struggle, because you see all that bunch of messages and you're like, oh, something happened. But usually it is good that like everything is okay. It just their communication to solve the challenges they have every day.
Yeah, like first days we can get to sleep until Ukraine like woke up. Like we wait till 1 a.m. and like it's 7 o'clock, 7 hours difference. So we waiting until like friends, parents start chatting that everything is okay, and yeah.
Yeah, right. But what changed recently? We were donated to like official and national charitable organizations, but now I started to donate directly to the people who's asking urgent help, because due to all the bureaucracy of accepting money, all the papers, all the paperwork, it's time-consuming process, and especially in Ukraine. But as I see, the person needs to buy the protect. Do you remember? Bulletproof defense stuff. Straight away, you are given it because you know that person. Usually, this is like those team of runners who sharing the posts of people needing something really urgent, and you react straight ahead. Like they left shelters of dogs, like they left like hundreds of them. You are given for the food for them, or like the coach, like Mary, she was gathering to buy a car. In 3 days, she has 3 cars, like this.
And
you understand? Yeah.
How are they doing that? How can folks contribute directly like that?
It is like, the saying, maybe like you maybe can be acquainted with the president with the five handshakes. Like there is some kind of a person know a person, then a person know another person, and it goes to the person that, oh, I can help. And usually it is like that. And usually in the running community, a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of people from the fitness and sports or athletics sphere, a lot of IT workers, young people, devoted people, and loyal people that try to help.
Are they GoFundMe type of sites? Like how are they actually transacting? How does someone who's listening to this show and says, I want to make an immediate impact, how are they finding those sites and delivering funds to those people?
This is like, I'm making these funds because I know that person usually, and I know she's reliable or they are reliable. But what I did, I usually gave the money to the website that created my coach. And I know that this money in the next day will have the result. She shows everything on pictures, in Instagram and stories like this, like the audit goes with the numbers and with pictures.
For you folks from there and for the people who are still there, did you anticipate this from Russia and Putin, or was it as much of a surprise as it was to a lot of us over here that he actually is doing what he's doing?
So I would say like maybe 1 or 2 weeks before, people no one believes that it would happen. But in meantime, all start to be prepared. Like all people starting to research like what to do, like to have an emergency suitcase, emergency kit and suitcase, like if you need to leave like immediately, like with all essential stuff, like to be prepared with fuel for a car.
Like your brother, he heard on 5 a.m. in the morning the missiles or bombs in the port in the sea. That was quick. They gathered the stuff. Children, you have to. Sergei's godfather to his children and 2 children, and they backpacked, and that's it. They went from their home. The same are like another like children, like the family where Sergei also a godfather to the children.
Yeah. So what I am talking that like 2 weeks before, no one believes, but everyone tried to prepare as much as they can. And maybe like people live normal life, like people planning like flights and so on. People really didn't expect that it would happen like on the 24th of February. So yeah, like someone said like, okay, we will have a flight like tomorrow, and what happened? Like people didn't really expect like that.
I so appreciate again you being here, because it's such an important message. It's so important that we take so much for granted here in the United States. We really do. And yet there is always this threat that something can happen unless we change our attitude. This is part of, unfortunately, who we are as human beings. We've spent millennia increasing our value by decreasing somebody else's.
It was the first time. I'm so sorry. First time you are telling about all this, and we felt this with Sergei the first week or 10 days. Like we were feeling guilty of being here, not hearing the sirens, not feeling the missile, not hearing the common missiles, not hide in the dungeon, in the shelters. I was feeling guilt of eating food when somebody didn't have, or sleeping in my bed. And that was a little hints when you feel that, is it a depression coming to you right now? Or like, what is next? What is happening with what to do? And you underestimate every help you are doing. Even you think it is small, like even giving money, giving the information or something, you do not, like you think that this is nothing because you are not there. That's all I wanted to share.
No, it's I appreciate that honesty. And yet
that's survivor. That's like a survivor guilt, right, Dr. Joe?
Yeah, it is. It's like a survivor guilt.
Are you all surprised that other countries haven't come in and helped?
I was surprised about the story from my friend Ukrainian. She recently got the birth for her child, gave the birth, and she heard about the nurse that usually was with her, but she was absent, and she was asking what happened. And she was told that the nurse, by her all means, without any help of, I don't know, of any organization, went to Ukraine to help Ukrainians in hospitals. For me, I'm telling, oh my God, my hair
getting goosebumps.
Yeah, goosebumps, because you're like, how, like, whoa. And it's not the first story I hear about the military people, about the medical sphere, about even not in Ukraine, but on the borders to help to welcome the immigrants, the rescue people. Like, wow.
So I would say that I surprised a lot, like from my perspective and what I heard, that how Poland was welcome, and we like in our company we have office in Poland, and people like co-workers, they willing to help, even to like host people from Ukraine. Like they asking how we can help in first like minutes when it started. And yeah, like and I know that a lot of like all like Romania, like all, not all, maybe Poland, Slovakia, Romania, Moldova. So they all like connected with Ukraine by border, and you can go and cross the border, and then you immediately get a help. So people just arriving with a car and transportating to like nearest hotel, or maybe like to final destination. Hotels welcome and yeah, free of charge, like hosting people like refugees from Ukraine. Also like big support even here, not on level of country, like even first days, people who realized that we from Ukraine, they was so welcome and so like with like it was
empathize.
Yeah, so they even help like simple thing. We go to breakfast like on a second or third day, and people of that cafe like gathered money and paid for our breakfast, and we just take this money and donate it to Ukraine, like this. We do not spend for food money, but we just transfer those money to Ukraine. Yeah, and there is a lot of support here, like not as I say, not on country level, on a like day-to-day conversation or interaction with other people.
Even still, my mother live in Poland, in Warsaw, and she's not paying for her flat. It has been the third month, I guess.
Yeah, I mean,
she's not paid for transportation. She just show her passport with a stamp, and that's it.
I mean, that is part of who we are as human beings as well. You know, it's there's the dark side, absolutely, but there is this sense of compassion, of belonging, of inclusion. That is also who we are as human beings. And then we're confronted with this limbic side of us, this aggressive side, as if somehow, if we don't do that, we're not going to survive. It's just, it is part of who we are. It's an I am, but we don't have to like it. We don't have to condone it. We need to understand it. But we can do something different, and we have to do something different, or this way of being will destroy all of us. So how can we help? Mary, you were on mute for a moment there, but I know you were saying something. What were you trying to say?
Yeah, I was trying to say, and encourage people with the saying, every help is a help. You don't underestimate. Even friends told me, like, when you said hello and asked how I was, it already something for me. It's refocused my mind from what is happening there onto you and your life, and I tried to cheer up, to just have a person for a minute away with her mind. It is already a help. I know people are starting some kind of English speaking clubs for Ukrainians, and also free of charge. They are like connecting and asking whom to help. I was trying to help from here with the UNICEF department, who is supporting the breastfeeding in unusual circumstances. And I was translated article from English to Ukrainian into Russian language in order to make also some kind of help. And then they asked me whether I know any woman who is breastfeeding right now in the moment in the shelter. And I'm like, yeah, I know one. She's in the shelter with 2 babies in Kharkiv during all the horrible time there. And I connected, I think she was from Canada, Canadian journalist, with the girl, and they did came up with the article. And it was goosebumps again. It was the same feeling. Any help is a help. Yeah, like you don't know what is the power of it, but it is a huge thing. So first as I said, I felt guilty of being here, but then I came back to routine, even making some posts on Instagram of just life here. And girls of my running club were telling me, Mariia, thank you. You have this like refocusing us a little and remind us, why are we fighting for the life itself?
Usually we wait until the end of the show to talk about the 2 truths of the I am. We are all influenced by 4 domains: our home domain, the social domain, the biological, and the I see, how I see myself, how I think other people see me. We're talking a lot about your home domain of Ukraine and how you are here in a different home domain, the social domain also of the United States. But because the domains interact, a small change can have a big effect. You don't need to change everything. I want to spend a few minutes talking about these small changes. So, Mariia and Sergei, what small change can you recommend to our listeners? How can we make a small change that can have an effect? Sergei, you want to start?
Yeah, I can start. Maybe I can quickly answer to previous question, how people can help. So maybe the first step, if you have possibility and you know someone from Ukraine, you can ask how you can directly donate. If you have no such possibilities, there is like aggregator, like site of different items to, it's like helptoukraine.org, sunflowerpeace.com, yeah, and Razum for Ukraine. So those sites, if you hear or see, it's also good to explore and donate like that. Yeah, sorry.
We will post all those sites on our website. We will post all of those. So
and answering for your question, what small changes like can have big effects? So I would say it's a sustainability, or to be sustainable, to maintain that level of your today life constantly and improving this, like to be consistent. Yeah, like that.
Mariia, your thoughts on this? Small changes can have big effects. What small change can you recommend to our listeners?
and I was reading the article on your website. First, I was thinking directly about small changes, small baby steps in knowing yourself by exploring the world. But then I understood this is more like an influence. The second question to answer. And I thought about also this butterfly effect. When they say that with the wind from a butterfly wind, there can be somewhere a tsunami. Like the small change that you might know, like this, a small change for you, small step might be a huge step for somebody. For me, it is usually to say nice things, to be kind. For me, it's non-profitable. It's not a charity. For me, it's easy to say a compliment for a person if I see something I like. And then I heard from that person that was acquaintance of mine, she said, "You made my day." I was smiling on there.
That's right.
Like to give small good things for the people, especially when it's unexpected, and especially when you do not wait anything in return. Usually people not used to have small presents. This is what I like, especially when I enter the house for the first time, or I'm going the place where I know there will be children. This is I say my thing, to have something small for people, either it words or some small gifts, but it make them smile.
Yeah, and that leads to the second truth. You control no one, you influence everyone. You get to choose the kind of influence you want to be. And Mariia, that is exactly what the I Am is about. At every and any moment in time, you can remind someone of their value. And whenever you do that, you increase your own value. And that's what I hope we can all do. But what kind of influence do you want to be? I mean, I'm hearing you, Mariia and Sergei. What kind of influence do you want to be right now? Sergei, we'll start with you.
So I'm a big fan of empathy. So I want people to think about how other people can feeling, or can like what's going on with other people. So like to think about attitude for other people. I don't know how to say it properly, but empathy would be my best hit to, if I can, I would share it, but or even maybe more understand and spread, but to have a big heart and feel this, like how other people are feeling.
And would you apply that? How do we apply that right now, given what's happening with Ukraine? How can we be empathic?
Like talking and check the sources.
Yeah,
like
check the sources.
Not everything what you can hear or read can be true. You need to double check.
Mariia, you control no one, you influence everyone. I think you've told us a little bit, but what kind of influence do you want to be?
I think what I felt here and what I'm still feeling. Do not judge one person for actions for another person. It is my point of view, because I still have here some friends from Russia. And one good girl wrote me on the third day of war, her empathy and her devotion to my country. And I thank you for that. I owe huge gratitude, appreciation. And she was telling me, next text was, "I was so afraid to write to you. I was sure you will decline me," because she was already declined by some. And oh my God, again, goosebumps. And this is what I can't now say to my people there, to my friend there, because they feel full aggression. They feel hatred towards mostly every Russian. They do not watch Russian blogs anymore. They do not follow Russian culture, media, the singers, music. For me, it's scary because here I still have friends, and all of them during the first 2 weeks of war wrote to me, about 20 or 25 people. Mostly of them, they've been living here for some time. And a lot of them told me that, yeah, they were afraid to write me because a lot of people already refused to speak with them. This is, I think, the something we need to work on.
It's such an important point. We cannot be lumpers and just lump everybody in. There are some people and many people that we still respect and value and can trust. Mariia and Sergei, thank you so much for being here tonight and sharing this with the Dr. Joe Show. Listeners,
thank you. Thank you for having us.
Links in. Please donate. Donate.
Go, 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 go.